Nebraska football, an all-time great program.
Was
is the operative word, right? If you got a teenage son, he probably doesn't even know that Miami used to be good and Oregon used to be bad, right? That's just the way it goes. Now he turns around and is like, Oregon's great, Miami's terrible. Nebraska was, in the 1990s, there were two programs that dominated college football in the 1990s. One was Florida State, one was Nebraska. There were two programs that dominated college football in the 1980s. One was Miami, one was Nebraska. What's the common theme? Nebraska has stood the test of time with the legendary Tom Osborne, Scott Frost, now their head coach, touchdown Tommy Frazier, of course, Key remembers all the great players. Amon Green, you name it. Dave Rimington going back to the 70s. They've been amazing. But Nebraska is experiencing a hemorrhage of players. Coach Frost led them to the title. He's 12-20. He's 9-17 in the Big Ten. 12-20, 9-17 in the Big Ten. And this week, the worst sign of all for any program, regardless of record, because he's on safe ground right now because he's a living legend. But player attrition, just in the last week, Wan'Dale Robinson, their do-everything running back, wide receiver, boom, gone. He was the whole offense. Luke McCaffrey, brother of Christian McCaffrey, son of Ed McCaffrey, Eddie Mack, Broncos, great, gone. This one isn't huge, but it's going to garner a lot of attention. He was a team captain. His last name is Warner. His dad's first name is Kurt. His name is Kade. All three of those guys, a team captain, your best player on offense, and your hopeful future quarterback, all gone. Add to this, Key, because I know you got some perspective. When asked about it on Friday, Scott Frost got in front of the media, generally pretty friendly in Lincoln. Again, legend in Lincoln. He said, I got 10 assistants. Everyone's coming back. Everyone's coming back, except those three players who are out. You're struggling, you're losing players, you're keeping your staff intact, and it is a mess in Lincoln. They thought a hero was coming home, and I like Scott Frost. It has been a mess since day one.
No, Frosty is cool. I played with him. I played with him at the New York Jets as well as the Tampa Bay Bucks. I watched him have success at UCF, but the success at UCF George O'Leary kind of left the players there. He recruited some guys, but for the most part, those players are already there, and then he went and built. They won. They beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. And then at Nebraska, they kind of was getting going in the right direction with Mike Riley, but they got fidgety. The Nebraska fan base is so crazed to be successful that they got fidgety and didn't want to lose Scott Frost to Tennessee or some of these other teams that he had an opportunity to go coach. So they blow Mike Riley out. They blow up that entire draft class. They just kind of get rid of everybody, bring in his guys, and it hasn't worked. I mean, it was like they thought that they was getting Urban Meyer or something.
Right.
And they wanted the next time Osborne. And look, 2 years from now, if he's still there, maybe he turns it around.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it looks bad on the athletic department in Nebraska. It looks really bad. I mean, I'm one that say to myself, wow. All I can do is say, wow.
This is like,
they really blew out a coach that was headed in the right direction.
Yep.
And I understand. He was the golden boy. Mm-hmm. He was the child, the prodigal son of Nebraska. We got to have him. We don't want to see him roll him in the sidelines at some other university. And they made the offer, the bid, he comes home, and now they haven't sniffed success.
And Jay, I want to mention this from your perspective, since you played for an all-time great coach and an all-time great program, and you were one of the all-time great players there. It's like sort of telling a kid today, like maybe 20 years from now, hey, believe it or not, back in the day, Duke used to be good. Right? Let's just say it just falls off after Coach K leaves. It's almost unfathomable. It's the same thing with Nebraska football. There was a point where you thought there could be no drop-off. It was rolling like nobody was rolling. But it's just a reminder, things change.
Well, I'm not as familiar a situation with it like he is, but I will say this. After a while, that lure wears off, Zubin. If you're not winning, if you're not bringing home results, if you're still getting blown out, and granted this year, once again, with the pandemic, kind of serves as a loophole, gives a lot of people passes, but your record starts to speak for itself, inevitably.
Yeah. And what happened with Nebraska is rest of college football kind of caught up with them, Zubin.
Yes.
Nebraska had the big, pretty facilities. Nobody else had all that. Like, they really was like state-of-the-art, next level. And then all of a sudden, Oregon started and other programs started. I mean, you go to any program in college football for the most part across the country, and they got brand spanking new facilities. When Nebraska is not, that's not even sexy anymore. It's like, okay, I can go get that anywhere. I can go get it anywhere across the country. And for the most part, I don't have to play in the middle of the state or fly in the middle of the state to see my kids play. They can stay home. It could be nice weather. All of those sort of things kind of is what got Nebraska. And the impatience to get back on top. They had Bo Pelini. Bo Pelini was winning 9 games, 10 games, 9 games for him a year. They didn't think he could handle the alumni base there just based on his attitude and how he handled things, so they blew him out. Then they got the total opposite in Mr. Riley, who's nice. They didn't like that. So it's kind of like, all right, man, pick and choose what it is that you really want.
It's unbelievable because there's so many differences today. Back in the 70s when Nebraska was great, look, there's only 3-4 teams on television. Now everyone's on television.
Yeah,
all the
that.
inherent advantages they used to have are not there.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.